Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day, and today is Friday the 19th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got up this morning fairly early I guess, not too bad, but got up, got the dogs all taken care of, got them out, got them handled what need to be done, so basically we can get a few things accomplished. Hung out with the dogs outside for a little bit. Had a crew coming over to start my patio slab. I guess basically digging it out and forming it with the plan to pour it hopefully tomorrow, if not Monday. And it is what it is. Didn't really like the idea of it being just framed up dirt with all the dogs playing in it. Stuff's gonna be fresh dirt as opposed to just the sand they've already made from tearing up all my grass. But I was like, what do I do? I just kind of have to deal with what I got. So it is what it is. Got the dogs all fed, got them all cared for and that. Hung outside them for a little bit, and then they texted and said they were on their way over to start working, so I got everybody back inside. Went ahead and we got the big drive-through gate open so they can move their skid steer and whatnot in there, so easier access for them. And the dogs were going to be trapped in the house for at least a while until the crew was gone, because I couldn't risk somebody leaving a gate open accidentally and whatnot. I didn't want to have to make them keep opening and shutting the gates. It's just, that's dumb. So went ahead and said heck with it. Ended up, basically the guys got there, started getting to work pretty quickly. Measured out, it's pretty simple, so rectangle, 12 feet from the house, full width of the house, like 55 feet wide. And they basically staked it out with the string where they wanted it, started running the skid steer, and then the guy running the skid steer got a little ambitious around my sprinkler head, and when he knocked the sprinkler head off, he got too close, and the other dude, the crew, was kind of pissed off because he broke the threads off, so he couldn't just cap the other piece, so had to go find some other parts to make it work and all that good fun stuff. But they finally got it capped off. Went ahead, turned the sprinkler system back on, made sure it's all leaks are done and whatnot and all that good fun stuff. So they basically got down there and they headed out, and I had, while they were finishing up their framing, before they got finished up framing, I had the inspector come by and basically pulled back and signed off on the form, which is funny because it wasn't even 100% formed yet, but it was almost formed. And then he also went ahead and signed off on the final, so I guess they have to come back, even though it's not been done at all. So I don't know if that's officially what's supposed to happen or what, but their big concern, I think, is if all the mud runoff, the cleanup and stuff runs out into the road or into a neighbor's yard and all that kind of fun stuff and whatnot. But luckily that was not the case, because where mine is setting, it's got to go uphill to get off my property. So he's like, if you don't clean it up, it's just your mud hole. It's not anything to do with the neighbors, so nothing to worry about there. So he signed off on both, which technically meant at that point, the guy doing the concrete work's like, well, he signed off on the final even. You don't have to do the termite if you don't want to. But I had a crew coming out that was scheduled to come spray for termites today, and I was like, well, I still might as well spray for termites just in case they don't come back and go, well, show me the receipt or you paid him or whatever. We realized he signed off too early or some crap, so didn't want to mess with it. So said to hell with it, contacted them and said, hey, they are 100% done right now, and went to send somebody over. And they're like, yeah, okay, we'll get somebody over there real quick. And I'm like, cool. And then I hear back from the concrete guy. He said, actually, we're gonna pour today. We got enough time, the weather's nice, we're just gonna get it done today. And I'm like, oh, okay, if that's the case, then how long before you guys get back? And he told me it should be this long. So I went ahead and shut the gates all back up, secured the fencing, and then let the dogs out, let them play, let them run around a little bit, kind of burn off a little energy. And then from there, the guys got back, went ahead and put all the dogs back up, let the crew in. The guy come and spray my bugs. It's a client of mine, and they're supposed to be sending somebody over, and it was said I was supposed to get a 30% discount or $30 discount, so I was supposed to book direct with her, which I did and whatnot. And she ended up telling me to call the office and whatnot, and the guy wasn't showing up, so I finally called back the last time, like, well, they're here, they're ready to pour concrete, and you have to spray before they can pour concrete. So do we have a time frame? Like, what the hell's going on? And they're like, oh, he's on his way, he'll leave right now. And I hear her holler in the background, hey, can you go do a pre-treat now? So the guy was in the office, he hadn't even left yet. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? I'm like, I've already talked to people a couple times. Like, I now have people who are actually working for a living here also, waiting on you guys to show up here and do this. So they went ahead and got their truck basically going. The truck finally showed up. They have their own mixing truck, so they don't have to order truck or the concrete from the company. They mix it right there in my front yard and then pump it back with a mud buggy. And they hauled one load in. I'm like, hey, can we start closer to the end? Like, not against the house, because he still got to spray. So the guy finally showed up, and it was that concept of just, you can tell he's paid by the hour, and never had to work a commission job in his life, because he backs the truck in, finally gets the truck parked, and wasn't willing to roll the window down so I could tell him, like, hey, don't hit my tree, don't do it, blah, blah, kind of thing. So he basically finally gets the truck in there, starts pulling hose, pulls the hose about halfway out, then walks all the way back to the truck, gets the hose, pulls all the hose back out, and then gets it. He's about 3 feet too short of the hose, but you got a 2.5 foot wand that you're gonna put on the end of it, and it sprays a little distance. So he walks all the way back to the truck, pulls off another like 10 feet of hose, rolls it all the way back out. So now he's made 3 trips back and forth from my house and back to the truck. Gets there and realizes that he don't have the wand. So he walks all the way back to the truck, gets the wand, walks all the way back, hooks the wand back up, turns it on, and realizes he hasn't turned the pump on, so it doesn't come out. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I got like guys sitting here like staring at this guy like, what the hell? Why is this idiot this slow? And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So he finally got the pump turned on, all the good fun stuff, and got that done. Went ahead, said the hell with it. Finally sprayed a heavy coat, don't give a shit. Just spray, I'm paying either way, it don't matter. And then I paid the guy. He left, only took him forever to roll stuff up. I'm like, can you just get your hose out of the way so they can start moving their shit in? So they're moving the buggies of concrete in, and their buggy broke down, so they had to start using skid steer, which I guess they do, but it doesn't haul as much of a load each trip, and it's a little bit slower, a little hard to maneuver, which works on my yard. So tore the crap on my yard pretty good and all that good stuff, but who cares? It is what it is. Pour the concrete. I thought it looked a little wet, a little sloopy, and it is what it is. So but they got it all poured, got it all. There's some flaws in it, there's some issues and stuff, but for the price I'm paying, happy with it. He was about half most everybody else's price and less than a third of a couple. So I'm like, I'll take it. I'm good with it. So they finally got it all poured. Went and walked the dogs a couple times, and while they were pouring concrete, he came and asked me if I knew who had the dogs out. I'm like, what? There was a tan retriever looking thing, like a mix, and then a black dog out, which I'm pretty certain his neighbor across the street's dog. One of their stuff, and they were way over by Bill's house. I went and called him back over, and as I went to go knock on the people's house, nobody's come to the door. Which nowadays, how you get shot down here in Florida, knocking on somebody's door, even if you're trying to return the dog. So I was a little bit hesitant about that, but it is what it is. So went ahead, and as I was trying to knock on the door to get him to go in, the dogs ran back to the back. There was like a gate that the boards broke, and the gate was left open. So they ran inside the gate, so I just pulled the gate shut. I'm like, well, hope it's your dog, because if not, I put it back in your yard. So you're gonna have an interesting surprise when you come home to a dog in your yard. But all I did is shut a gate. The dogs ran in on their own, so it is what it is. So hopefully that's where they go. And the one dog me and Bill both thought were pretty certain was a neighbor's dog, and the tan dog, he thinks they basically daycare that leave there during the day when other people work or something. So couldn't imagine having my dog watched by somebody coming back and it's gone. It'd freak me the hell out. I'd lose my mind. So it happens, but it would suck. So I went ahead, got that done. They finally finished pouring the concrete, put a broom finish on it. I was gonna do a rock salt finish, and I just realized just a lot of mold and stuff will catch up in there, all the dirt and the dogs and stuff. And then if a dog ever does pee on the patio, I don't want to catch the little holes where the rock salt would be. So skipped it, went to the broom finish, said the hell with it. They took off, and they got finished up tonight. I gave them some beer that was gifted to me, some IPA that I would never drink. So gave the crew that, and basically they headed out. Paid the guy for the concrete. He's all good to go. And send it back tomorrow or Monday to cut the concrete, to basically cut expansion gaps in it. So when it cracks, hopefully they'll crack in those places and won't be so ugly. So we'll see what it does and how it works out. So been watering it down. So the slower the concrete dries, the stronger it becomes. So, but this is just a setting on patio, not building, house on top, and not doing anything heavy, not doing anything like that. So not really too concerned about it, but it is what it is. So they finally left. Went and got my run in, got back from my run, got my shower. Wife got home from work, and we basically hung out a little bit. The dogs were mad because I kept having to walk them on the leash, and the one dog, ironically, the lady who has the bug company, her dog was so mad that she couldn't go outside and pee all over my yard, because she loves to go out and smell things and pee on things in the backyard, that she peed on my floor and my chair in the house. So she was just, she was grumpy. She's mad at me. Every time I take her out, put her on a leash, she was mad at me. So it is what it is. So yeah, no, there are people slow getting here to spray for bugs, but her dog also pissed on inside my house because she was mad. But it is what it is. Slab's done. Like I said, hopefully get cut tomorrow, if not Monday. But I'll be able to let the dogs out on it tomorrow morning. So until then, we basically just, I lived out there in the patio. I went and had a cigar and had my 3D printer running. But every time I walked the dogs, I had to walk them out the front, which wasn't bad because I had the one little dog who, she was mad she wasn't able to run the yard. And the other dog is super old and he don't really care to go out much anyway. He goes out and hangs out with me in the sun, but it doesn't upset him too much. He's not used to being outside a whole bunch, although he does enjoy it. So it was a low maintenance dogs here today. So worked out well for that. So went ahead and after dinner, finished up my cigar, headed back in, grabbed myself some chips, and watched another episode of The Golden Palace. It's the Golden Girls second spinoff, or the first spinoff, I guess, of the Golden Girls after Dorothy left. So they bought like a hotel, whatever, which I realized Golden Palace is a website that back in the day you couldn't advertise gambling online. They used to pay people a bunch of money to paint Golden Palace on their bodies, like during MMA fights and all kinds of stuff. So they're also ones that are buying like Jesus-shaped cookies and whatnot on eBay to get their name out there in the news. So anyway, that's all I got for right now, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.